Hello, Pokemon trainers! Welcome back to another Pokemon Legends Arceus video on iStarly TV. Today we're going to talk about the new Pokemon and new forms in Legends Arceus. So, I need to say, first of all, this video contains spoilers. Massive, massive spoilers for Pokemon Legends Arceus. People have actually gotten access to the game early. However, I don't know exactly how, but basically the game has effectively leaked. Pretty much all of the information and data about the game has leaked online, and so I've been kind of keeping up with all these leaks just because I'm curious. You know, it's kind of a bad thing, but I'm very curious. Anyways, I have now seen all of the new Pokemon and new forms that are available in this game, and I'm going to post pictures here and talk about them. So of course, you know, we only knew officially about a handful of new Pokemon and new forms, such as Weirdeer, Hissuian Voltorb, Hissuian Growlithe, for example, and a few others. But there are actually quite a few more than just the ones that they showed us, and I imagine they wanted to keep a lot of these secret for the first time when we play the game. And of course, the internet being the internet, everyone now knows what these new forms and new Pokemon look like, and their typings and everything. So I'm going to talk about all of them in this video. And so this is my final spoiler warning for the video. This video will show new Pokemon and new forms in Legends of Arceus that we do not officially know about yet, that they did not officially talk about. And this is about a week before release. So if you want to keep the surprise factor up, which I understand is very fun when it comes to Pokemon games, you know, even though at this point it's hard to kind of do that, make sure that you keep that in mind. And if you need to turn off this video and come back at a later date once you know all these Pokemon, once you've played the games, you know, that's fine. But if you're someone who's curious, or you're someone who's seen these already, you know, feel free to keep watching, and I'm gonna have some discussion, you know, about these Pokemon. So just finally, once again, spoiler warning. You've been warned. These are new Pokemon and new forms. All right, let's get right into it. So I think this is going in number order, Pokedex, like national Pokedex order. And so we're just going to kind of go through that. So we have Hissuian Voltorb, and we now know what Hissuian Electrode looks like. And it looks cool. I mean, honestly, it looks just like what you would expect Hissuian Electrode to look like after we saw what Hissuian Voltorb looks like. So it kind of looks a little cartoony. I guess it looks a little older, like more ancient or something like that. It's an electric and grass type, which I think speaks to the fact that Pokeballs back then were crafted using resources from nature, using natural resources. So I think that's why it's a grass type. So interesting stuff. It's not my favorite design because, again, it just looks like regular Electrode, but it's interesting. Then we have Hissuian Arcanine. Once we saw Hissuian Growlithe, we all pretty much assumed that there would be a Hissuian Arcanine, and I think it looks really cool, actually. I actually like it a lot. I think it's also a rock and fire type, just like Hissuian Growlithe, so I think it's a really cool design. Hot take, it kind of looks a little cooler than regular Arcanine, so don't you know, destroy me in the comments. I guess you can if you want, but you know, I think it's really cool. So now let's talk about the starters. So the starters in the game, as we know, are 3 starters from other Pokemon regions. There's Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott. The final evolutions for all 3 of those starters has a new form. So Typhlosion has a Hisuian form that looks similar to Typhlosion, but a little bit different. And they all have unique typing. So I'll show them right here. Hisuian Typhlosion is Fire and Ghost. Hissuian Samurott is Water and Dark, I believe. And Hissuian Decidueye, I believe, is Grass and Fighting. These are pretty cool, I think. Honestly, I mean, the way that Typhlosion looks here, I know a lot of people online have criticized the way Typhlosion looks, because it looks kind of sad, but I have seen it in game, and it does actually have its flames when it's actually in the game, and its flames look cool. They're kind of like a pinkish purple color, so they're kind of cool. Samurott to me is not very exciting in my opinion. It just looks very similar to regular Samurott, except it's a little bit like skinnier, and it is darker because it has more black and like red on it, which is interesting, but it just looks like almost like a palette swap of a Samurott. And then I think Decidueye looks really cool. It has like this kind of hat thing going on the top. and it looks maybe a little taller. I think it looks really interesting, but let me know in the comments what you think of these 3 starter evolutions, and has that changed your opinion about which starter you wanted to choose from the beginning? Personally, I wanted to choose Cyndaquil. I like all of the starters. I mean, Samurot's probably my least favorite, but I think I might still be choosing Cyndaquil. And then if there's some way for me to also get Rowlet on my team, or Decidueye, then I will. Alright, so next we're going to talk about these 2 Pokemon that originated in Gen 2. They both also have Hisuian forms, and they each have an evolution as well. So that's Hissuian Quillfish and Hissuian Sneasel. I believe Quillfish is Poison and Dark, which is an interesting typing. It's very interesting that it's not a water type because it's a fish. And then Hissuian Sneasel, I believe, is Poison and Fighting, which is actually really cool. The only Poison and Fighting type we have right now, I think, is just Croagunk and Toxicroak. And Sneasel's always just a good Pokemon. It's a really nice offensive, like, glass cannon Pokemon. It's really, really fast, but it's also pretty strong. They both have evolutions. Quillfish's evolution, I think, is called Overquill. I think that's what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. I hope I'm not wrong on that, but I know it's a kind of a little play on words like some Pokemon's names are. It's interesting looking. It's not my favorite. I've never been a huge fan of Quillfish, although I love Gen 2. But let me know in the comments what you think. Am I wrong for not really liking it? Do you think it's awesome? Do you think it's boring? Let me know in the comments. Now, Sneasel's really cool, but its evolution is just... oh man. I am not the biggest fan of this. Maybe it'll grow on me. I know I've had a lot of criticisms in previous generations of some of the designs of the Pokemon, and then they ended up really growing on me. So I anticipate that that could happen here as well. But this is called Sneasler, which the name alone I think is pretty lame. So I kind of want Sneasel on my team, but I don't like Sneasler, so we'll kind of see what happens there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, this is a big one here. I know I'm kind of going all over the place. I'm typically trying to keep it in National Pokedex order, but, you know, I just added those 2 evolutions just because they were from the Gen 2 Pokemon. Dialga and Palkia both have new forms in this game, and their forms are really interesting looking. These are, I'm just going to say it, these are, in my opinion, the least cool alternate forms for a legendary Pokemon that we've possibly ever seen. I mean, Mega Mewtwo arguably is kind of weird, but I think, okay, so I have not seen any of the story spoilers. I know that there are story spoilers out there. I have not seen those, so this might be a spoiler if I'm guessing correctly, but at the same time, I'm not sure if that's true. So I'm just going to say it, this might be a little spoiler warning for some of the story. My guess is that these 2 Pokemon fuse with Arceus, and that's why they look kind of like horses, because Arceus is a quadrupedal, which means it's on 4 legs. I guess Dialga is usually as well, but both of these look like they could have fused with Arceus. I'm not sure if that's true, though. I don't think these are amazing looking, but, I mean, you know, who knows? Next, we have actually Hissuian Liligant, which looks just like a skinnier Lilligant with less leaves. I believe it's a grass and fighting type. So that'll be interesting to see. Personally, this is also not one of my favorites. If you couldn't tell, the overall theme here is that some of these designs are just not my favorite, but Hissuian Liligant, interesting stuff. We do not have a Hissuian Petalil, so Petalil will be a regular Petalil in the games. And then next, of course, we have Basculin and Basculegion. There are 2 variations of Basculegion. I think it has to do with gender. And I think there's a Basculin in this game that is kind of unique to Hisui, which is the white stripe Basculin. I think all the forms of Basculin might be in or something, but basically, from what I understand, the white stripe Basculin is the only one that evolves into Basculegion, but, you know, either way, I mean, Basculin's not the coolest Pokemon ever. Basculegion is a little bit cooler, and I'm kind of excited to use it. We'll kind of see, but, you know, Basculin, what do you think? Then, of course, there's Hissuian Zorua and Hissuian Zoroark, who we already know about. I think these 2 Pokemon are really cool. They're normal and ghost type. These are possibly my favorite of all the new forms and new Pokemon. Then there's Hissuian Braviary. Notably, we do not have a Hissuian Rufflet, so it's just a regular Rufflet, which evolves into Hissuian Braviary. Then there's Hissuian Avalugg, which is really interesting because Avalugg is a Pokemon that I don't think too many people are huge fans of. It's just kind of a random Pokemon from Gen 6, but I guess it's always cool to have some support and some love for Pokemon that aren't typically talked about. So that's Hissuian Avalugg. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know I keep saying that. I'm just interested in seeing what you have to say. Then, this is pretty interesting. We have Hissuian Sliggoo and Hissuian Goodra, which I believe are both Dragon and Steel type Pokemon, which is a really strong typing. The only Dragon and Steel types we have so far are Duraludon from Sword and Shield, and of course Dialga, who originated in Diamond and Pearl. I think these are cool. Again, I mean, Goodra looks sad. A lot of these Pokemon look sad. I don't know what's going on in Hisui, but a lot of these Pokemon are pretty sad. But I like these. I typically like Goodra anyway. This is like a skinnier Goodra. The thing on its back, I believe, is like a metal shell. And so I saw an image of Hissuian Goodra in the wild, and I think it was like inside of the shell. So like only its like head or something was sticking out. The rest of its body was in that giant shell. So interesting stuff. It's kind of like a slug in a way. And I honestly think I might have it on my team. I've always liked Goodra. I've always thought it was a cool Pokemon, and yeah, we'll maybe add it to the team. Then we have Weirdeer and Kleavor, which are two Pokemon that we did already know about. These are two brand new Pokemon, which are evolutions of older Pokemon in Stantler and Scyther, respectively. I still think Kleavor looks really cool. I think I don't remember whether, or I don't know whether Scizor is also in the game. Personally, I still just love Scizor. So if Scizor is in the game, I think I'd prioritize that over Kleavor. But, you know, Kleavor's cool looking. I don't think it's a bad design. It's one of the cooler looking designs in my opinion. Okay, this next one is probably the biggest surprise to me. And I would say just the biggest surprise in general of all of these. This is a brand new Pokemon. And a brand new legendary Pokemon. We had a legendary trio from one of the previous games, and that trio is in this game. And they added a fourth Pokemon to complement that trio. This new Pokemon is called, I think it's called Enamorus. And it is a new Genie Pokemon from the Genie trio. I actually don't remember the typing off the top of my head. This is awkward. Maybe I'll add that in editing. But it looks like it's a Psychic and Flying type. But again, I'll add it in editing right here so you can see. And then it has its Therian form, which is Enamorus T, just like Tornadus has Tornadus T, Landorus has Landorus T, etc. So it's cool. I like these Genie Pokemon from Black and White. And I love that they are going to be in Legends Arceus. I think that's really cool. And the fact that they added a new one is just really out of nowhere. I mean, it's just really surprising. I think that's cool. Typically, I like the Genies. This one in particular, it's pretty ugly, I'm not going to lie. I think this is the case where a lot of people have said it looks very cool. It looks very different in-game, or it looks a lot better in-game, just like the Hisuian Typhlosion that I talked about earlier. So I hope that's the case. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be a strong Pokemon since it's a legendary, and the other Genies are pretty strong as well. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's probably going to have some kind of a side quest for you to catch it. And if that's the case, I think that'll be kind of fun. So we'll see. But this is a very, very interesting Pokemon. The name, complemented by the kind of design, make me think it has to do with like love in some way. Because it has hearts all over it. And it's called Enamorus. So yeah, interesting stuff. Finally, and I know this order was kind of awkward. I should have ended with Enamorus, but this is a really cool one in my opinion. Ursaring now has an evolution in Hisui, and it's called Ursaluna. And I think it's a normal and ground type Pokemon. And its stats are pretty good. It has a really high attack stat. I know I haven't really talked too much about the stats of these other Pokemon, but I think Ursaluna looks really, really cool. And I think I might have it on my team as well. So good stuff. Let me know what you think of all of these. I know this is kind of like, you know, just talking through all of these. I appreciate that we're getting new forms and brand new Pokemon as well. I think that's really exciting that they're keeping things fresh by adding these new Pokemon and new forms. And from what I've seen of Legends Arceus, I am really, really excited for these games. Even more excited than Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, possibly. So This is going to be a huge thing. I mean, these games just look like nothing we've ever seen before as far as Pokemon games are concerned. And so I'm just excited to see what becomes of these games and how well they do and how good they are. I mean, I already pre-ordered mine, and I'm going to start playing it as soon as it comes out next week. And I'm really, really excited. I'm going to just dedicate a day or two to just playing it, and I'll probably make videos and guides for those. But I don't know. I have high expectations, but I also want to be careful with my expectations, because Pokemon games in the past have been, you know, sometimes a little hit or miss with certain things. But either way, I'm really, really excited, and I hope you are too. And I'm definitely interested in hearing what you have to say about all these new forms and new Pokemon. Which of these do you want to add to your teams, and which of these do you hate? Because I always love that drama. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more Pokemon Legends Arceus content, and just more Pokemon videos in general. Please also leave a like and subscribe. I appreciate your support, and I love having you here while I make these videos. I hope you have a great weekend and a great rest of your day.